All right, here we go in three. Excuse me. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Sports Medicine Broadcast as we continue discussing cramping science. I have Kari Beltran from Hoist. She's going to be talking about isotonic drinks. It's actually one we didn't get to talk about when we talked with Kevin Miller and Mike McKinney, and the order of this may be slightly off as we're kind of having to shuffle around recordings. So Kari has been with Hoist for 6 years, so she's kind of been with them from the ground up, and she's here to just discuss the isotonic solution, the science behind it, and maybe some of the times where it's not the best solution, but also just how it can help aid in performance. So if you want to look at Hoist, you can go to sportsmedicinebroadcast.com/hoist, and that'll take you to their website, which is drinkhoist.com. So if you go to sportsmedicinebroadcast.com/hoist, it'll take you to the website, and then you can also use the promo code DSMB if you make a purchase, and that'll kind of hook you up with some special deals. So without much further ado, Kari, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here.
All right. So I mentioned that you've been with Hoist for 6 years. You're from El Paso, Texas, so you know a lot about the heat and having to stay hydrated. And then you moved to San Antonio, which isn't a whole lot more humid or dry. So why don't you tell us just a little bit more about your story and kind of how you came to Hoist?
Sounds good. Well, I had graduated college and I actually moved back home to El Paso to get started working with my family's distribution company. And my dad had an employee working for him that was connected to Hoist. Our headquarters are out of Cincinnati, Ohio. So we kind of got linked up with them, and they sent us a couple cases and wanted us to get started distributing it. And at the time, I was focused more, I wanted to focus more on a marketing background. I didn't have a lot of experience with sales, but there wasn't really anyone else at our company to kind of focus on Hoist. So my dad had me get started, and I started doing most of the sales and marketing for Hoist out of El Paso, Texas. And as I started introducing it to people and learning more about this product, people were very excited for something new and unique and something very different from your average sports drinks or flavored waters. And so it kind of took off from there. And 6 years later, I've been with the company through a lot of our research and development stages. I've gotten to learn a lot about the product and how it works, but also gotten to be out in the field, introducing it to all kinds of different people, from athletes to little kids to construction workers. Hydration is so important for so many different things. And so I've gotten to be out in the field and introduce it to people and just learn different reasons why hydration is important and introduce this product to them to help them with their day-to-day life.
All right, so again, Hoist is an isotonic drink. So let's start off just with the definitions. Again, there's hypertonic, hypotonic, and isotonic. So can you kind of define those for us?
Yes. So continuing the conversation that y'all were having last time, I know they focused a little bit more on the hypertonic and the hypotonic drink solutions. And basically those solutions aren't able to be absorbed immediately. They have to sit in your stomach and be digested because they're either too dense in carbohydrates and electrolytes, which is your hypertonic solution, or a hypotonic solution doesn't have enough carbohydrates and electrolytes. It has a lot more water, and so it's also not able to absorb immediately. So an isotonic solution is actually the perfect balance of carbohydrates, electrolytes, and fluids There is no delay in hydration, and it can absorb immediately into your bloodstream.
All right, so tell me a little bit more about how the perfect balance was created.
So Hoist actually worked with Infinite Nutrition to create a ready-to-drink isotonic beverage. Surprisingly, there's actually not a lot of isotonic beverages on the market. I believe Mike had even mentioned that you go to the grocery store aisle and some of the aisles and sections are called the isotonic section, but not a lot of the drinks on this shelf are a true isotonic drink. And so knowing that there is a way for a solution to absorb immediately, Hoist wanted to focus on that process and really put only what your body needed into Hoist. A lot of drinks have added fillers, high fructose corn syrup, dyes, artificial sweeteners, and we wanted to eliminate all of the extra stuff that a lot of beverages have and just focus on what your body needs.
All right. So tell me a little bit more. Just kind of continue. We're discussing the science there, and as we discussed briefly, the hypertonic, the hypotonic, and isotonic. Can you give me a couple of examples of each of those so that we kind of have a reference?
Yeah. So a lot of your hypertonic drinks are going to be some of your sports drinks, coconut waters, your Gatorades, your Powerades, a lot of the drinks that do contain carbohydrates and electrolytes. And again, they're too dense and not able to absorb immediately. Some of the hypotonic drinks include your flavored waters, your zero-calorie sports drinks, and a lot of those drinks do contain your electrolytes, but they remove the carbohydrates and the sugars. So now that solution is not dense enough to be absorbed. So you really do have to have the balance of electrolytes and carbohydrates. A lot of people nowadays are very conscious of their sugar intake, and so when they initially look at Hoist, they see that it does contain carbohydrates and sugars, but not realizing that if we removed those carbohydrates, then it would no longer be an isotonic solution. But some of your hypertonic drinks have too much sugar and different flavorings that might be trying to mask the electrolyte flavor. And we were able to create a balance between the carbohydrates and electrolytes and still have a really good flavor. It also has to do with the measure of osmolality. So going into more the science behind it, the osmolality is the measure of density of a solution. And so if the osmolality doesn't match your body's osmolality, then it's not able to absorb. But since Hoist, we focused on the measure of osmolality and we wanted to match the density of your body's natural fluids and your body's osmolality in order, and that is why it is able to absorb immediately.
All right, is there a way to perfectly match with the person's osmolality, or is that osmolality? Sorry, there, or does that change kind of throughout the day? So, how is that formula created, measured, matched? I know you said y'all partnered with the nutrition company, but I guess what does that look like for the average human?
So everybody is different. There's not going to be an exact number that will fit for everyone. We just wanted to fall within a range. I believe, and I have some notes to read exactly. I'm sure a lot of the trainers are more familiar on isotonic and can go more in detail than I can.
All right. So while she's looking up some of the notes there again, that's the good part about live interviews is you get the questions. But if you want to check out Hoist, you can go to sportsmedicinebroadcast.com/hoist, and you can use the SMB as your promo code there to get a discount or some free shipping, or possibly even a free case with your next order of Hoist. So it's, again, I think she looks like she's still looking. Personally, I really have enjoyed the Hoist. There's been plenty of times where, I might not have drinking any water in the morning, so I kind of have a headache. So I'd, just grab one of those, drink it, and then almost instantly it's the headache is gone. So, it's like the hydration. So I'm meeting that need for my body. So Kari, you got an answer for us?
Yes. So controlling the osmolality of a hydration drink is key to its effectiveness. And for example, your gut and plasma have an osmolality level of 250 to 300. When you exceed this osmolality level, you divert water, energy, and blood to the digestive system and away from the working muscles. This diversion limits the body's ability to absorb water, thus affecting hydration and performance output. So since there is a range, the osmolality level is definitely going to vary per person. I know y'all were discussing how different people sweat differently. Some sweat more than others. So some people might not need as much Hoist in order to hydrate faster. Some people might, a lot of times when I'm working and talking to people about this, they're like, oh, do I drink it before, after, during? How much do I drink? And I usually just tell them that everybody's different and you kind of have to find what works best for you. I have worked with athletic trainers in the past as well, and they understand Hoist and they see what it is, but they don't immediately think, although it is good for everybody to drink, and it's important for everyone to be hydrated, most trainers can already think of one specific player that either cramps or gets very dehydrated a lot easier. And so they're already thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be perfect for one of my athletes. So trainers do kind of know their athletes, and they know that some athletes need a little bit more than others. And so it kind of just depends per person and per athlete. But Hoist does fall into a range where it just depends on drinking more or less of that, but overall it is going to absorb faster than water, sports drinks, flavored waters.
All right. Just curious, are there certain conditions where drinking Hoist would not be beneficial? Like with people who have some sort of like heart failure or some sort of swelling, they can't drink things with a lot of salt in them, that type thing. Are there, I guess, contraindications for drinking an isotonic drink?
Yeah, so a lot of times people are very conscious of their sodium intake as well. And so I've met people who immediately are like, oh, this is too high in sodium. And so what I usually tell people is, if you're not drinking a lot of water, you're going to experience dehydration. But I don't necessarily recommend it if you're indoors, sitting in the air conditioning all day, and drinking water. You might not necessarily need the Hoist or to add that much sodium. Hoist is definitely recommended when you're out in the heat, working out, playing sports. Anytime you're sick, the doctor's going to recommend drinking a lot of fluids. And especially here in Texas, a lot of times I'll even tell people just standing outside, you can get easily dehydrated with how hot it is. But for the most part, we have construction workers, athletes, and a lot of times people who work outside. Hoist is going to be at the ideal drink for them, but it might not necessarily be something that you want to drink too much of if you're just inside in the air conditioning.
All right. So what other fun facts about isotonic drinks, or I guess what other fun facts about isotonic drinks do you have?
So besides the fact that it can absorb so quickly, specifically Hoist, and I have some of our bottles here. There's no added colors, dyes, or no artificial sweeteners. Like I said before, we just wanted to put exactly what your body needs, nothing extra. And we just wanted to focus on the hydration aspect. A lot of times I'll let people know that you can drink 3 to 4 ounces at a time and kind of alternate it with water. It's of course still important to drink water, but it depends on what situation you're in. I know in y'all's previous conversation, you were focusing on cramping, and a lot of times it's hard for a trainer. Although cramping can have multiple factors and not necessarily be due to dehydration, sometimes it's your go-to solution when somebody cramps up in the middle of a game or practice. But at that point, it might already be too late. If they're on the sidelines, you don't have 10 to 30 minutes to wait for a hypertonic or hypotonic solution to absorb. And with Hoist being able to absorb immediately, it might actually help in those situations. And so it's definitely beneficial, and drinking 3 to 4 ounces at a time is going to absorb right away, and then you can still continue to drink water. That way you're getting hydrated, but water just can't absorb as quickly.
All right, so I don't know if we covered it, but tell me the origin of the company. I believe when I was talking to Rachel that she said it was from basically some heavy partiers that created a product that would help them sober up.
Yes. So Hoist was originally created as a hangover cure. The founders had graduated college and probably had a little too much fun in college, and realized that basically all a hangover is dehydration. So they wanted to find a way to cure that, and they came out with a rehydration drink that was meant to be kind of like the last drink of the night, your party hangover cure. And that's actually how my family was introduced to it. We actually own a bar distribution company, so they had reached out to us to promote it to the bars and kind of sell it as the last drink of the night, which was great. It worked. Everybody loved it. And then as we were marketing it, we realized that hydration is important for a lot of other reasons, not just the hangover cure. My dad in El Paso was actually, my brother was racing in North Carolina. He was racing some late model cars, and he was in a full fire suit, helmet, racing on concrete. It was very hot that summer in North Carolina, and as he was practicing and doing his long races, he was getting very dehydrated, and he would just come out and his fire suit would be soaking. He had sweated out all of his electrolytes, and it was really hard to keep him hydrated. Well, my dad started giving him this drink that was for hangovers, but he knew it was also a hydration drink, and my brother started actually seeing how this product works. So my family became believers of this product firsthand by using it for reasons, being out in the heat and losing those electrolytes and sweating. And so we became believers and have kind of been attached to this product ever since. And I can sit here and talk all day about the isotonic products and why it's better and why it works so well, but really using the product in a situation like that and seeing it work and seeing how much better you feel when you are hydrated, it kind of proves itself and how good of a product it is.
Yeah, and again, same situation to where if I go to the bathroom, I notice that I need some more hydration. I can usually grab one of these, and then pretty quickly my urine changes color, and obviously an indication of hydration. I kind of like we talked about with Kevin Miller and Mike McKinney, that hydration isn't the only cause for cramping, but if it's one of the factors that is known to be associated with cramping, as we're discussing cramping science, then if we can prevent that one side, then we can work on the other, the neurological, neuromuscular, the fatigue aspects as well. But if we can find something like an isotonic drink that helps instantaneously rehydrate, then it's a really great option for anybody. So, and then also I know in NATA Las Vegas that I'll be there doing the podcast lounge, and I'll have some hoist there with me, so you can come grab some, check it out. And obviously in Las Vegas, there's going to be plenty of people who are going to need to rehydrate. So feel free to come check it out and test it out for yourself and see if it actually does help you work there. Of course, I'd prefer you just be responsible and don't overdo it with alcohol, but you're an adult, so go for it. So, all right, Kari, other things about isotonic or hypotonic drinks. Is there a time where maybe the Gatorade or the coconut water is going to serve that you feel is going to serve the purpose better than the hoist?
I personally avoid the sports drinks just because I often do watch my sugar intake, and before, I guess growing up as a kid and being an athlete, that was really all there was. So you kind of just drink it because it's a sports drink and you're an athlete and you think that's what you're supposed to have. I, now that I'm older, stay away from them just because I never realized how much sugar. And a lot of times you buy one of the bigger sports drinks and the nutrition facts are only for an 8-ounce serving, and then it's actually 32 ounces. And so the sugars are almost double or triple what the nutrition facts say. And so, I mean, I'm definitely sure there are times and places where those will be beneficial. I know sugars are always a bad thing. I personally stay away from them, and since being introduced to hoist, that's kind of my focus. Coconut water, I actually got really excited when it first came out too, and although I was still working for hoist, I bought one and was excited to try it, and I could not stand the flavor of it. I don't know what I thought it was going to taste like, but I didn't taste anything like what I thought it would. The good thing about hoist too, we do have 4 flavors: strawberry lemonade, orange, watermelon, and dragon fruit. And not only is it a good isotonic drink, but it also tastes really good. They did an amazing job with the flavors and created a beverage that you can actually enjoy. A lot of times when looking for isotonic beverages, a lot more adults are starting to drink Pedialyte, knowing the benefits of hydration and how it works so quickly. But Pedialyte was created for infants, so it doesn't always taste that great. And hoist can kind of be an alternative to that as more of an adult Pedialyte or an athletic Pedialyte, and you can actually enjoy it, and it still does taste really good.
My favorite flavor is orange, but I think watermelon is probably one of y'all's top sellers. Is that correct?
Yes, strawberry lemonade and watermelon are definitely some of our favorites. Watermelon is my personal favorite. It's a little bit more on the sweeter side. Strawberry lemonade is a very tart flavor. The orange flavor is kind of right in the middle, not too tart, not too sweet. And the dragon fruit flavor is our unique flavor. That one's a little bit harder for me to describe, but you kind of just have to try it out and see how you like it.
All right, and then completely unrelated, we just completed all the interviews for the job that's going to be opening here as Bill is retiring. So I want to say congratulations to Sophia Mata on making it through all of those interviews and the whole long process. And thanks for my principal, my head coach, and all of them allowing me to do most of the interviews. Again, like I said, this is completely unrelated, but it's just kind of been finalized in the last 2 days. And so I wanted to kind of put that out there. I'm excited to be moving forward with my new coworker. And again, has nothing to do with isotonic drinks. But All right, Kari, any other thoughts as far as Isotonic Drinks, Hoist, other rehydration products?
No, I just wanted to thank y'all for allowing us to have this opportunity to introduce our product. I think just so many more people are now being educated on the different types of drinks. 6 years ago, if you had asked me what hypertonic, hypotonic, and isotonic was, I would have absolutely no idea. And I do think that there's a lot of people who don't understand it, and just understanding the different kinds of drinks and the benefits to drinking those is really important. So thank you for letting us educate everyone on our product and introduce it to everyone.
All right, so all the athletic trainers, grab you some Hoist. Again, if you're at NATA, come by, find me at the podcast lounge. We'll have some there so you can grab some and go stay hydrated as you're walking around. And as Las Vegas is extremely dry, you'll be breathing out lots of your hydration or sweating just anytime you step outside. So find me there, test it out, or order some. Again, sportsmedicinebroadcast.com/hoist, and that'll take you right there. And then using the code TheSMB will also get you a discount, whether that's free shipping or a free case with your order, something like that. So check it out. And then if you want to contact Hoist, you can, like I said, sportsmedicinebroadcast.com/hoist. That'll take you to their website. Or I believe Kari is pretty active on Instagram with Hoist. And so that's Drink Hoist on Instagram. So you can go to Drink Hoist on Instagram there. So check out sportsmedicinebroadcast.com/hoist. This episode is sportsmedicinebroadcast.com/isotonic drink. And so, yep, I think that's about all I got. So Kari, thanks so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you. And if anybody has any questions, definitely feel free to visit our website, and all the details and information will be there. And also, you can plug in your zip code and either order online or find a retailer near you that you can go and grab some Hoist.
Very good. And then we are also continuing the Cramping Science Series. We're talking with Dr. Sandy Folks-Godek, probably talking with Kevin Miller and Mike McKinney again. So it's an interesting series. I'm excited to learn and grow, especially down here in, like I said, in Texas, where we have soccer players who every single game will cramp up. So if we can find these products and help educate them, hydrate them, meet that need, and reduce the amount of injuries, then again, that's what we're here for. So Kari, again, thank you. And I am Jeremy Jackson, host of the Sports Medicine Broadcast, and that is a wrap. Thanks.